Hello and welcome back, all my Dragon Ball theorists. Today we focus on a character that hasn't gotten the proper attention I think he deserves. Well, Oatmeel isn't exactly a he or she, but an AI that is constantly by the side of Granolah. In fact, we have seen Oatmeel function and act precisely like another popular AI that is in the Marvel Universe, Jarvis. You know, Tony Stark's guide and in many ways best friend through much of the Iron Man movies. Tony Stark was a loner. He was all about himself and driven by his own personal motives early on in Iron Man, just like Granolah currently is in the Dragon Ball Super Manga. He is fueled by his personal revenge and works as a mercenary for the Heeters. We can only hope Granolah has a change of heart like Tony did, and that Oatmeel will help him find his path, just like Jarvis. So in this video, I will go through all the stunning similarities and parallels these characters share. Then by the end, you can tell me if Granolah and Oatmeel have the same relationship as Tony and Jarvis. In case you didn't know, the name Jarvis is actually an acronym for just a rather very intelligent system. It's an interface with a personality that we grew to love in Iron Man, there to serve and help Tony accomplish his agendas. As Tony picks up his helm for the first time,
Jarvis, you there?
At your service, sir.
Gauge heads-up display.
Check.
which is very similar to how we were introduced to Oatmeel the first time, on Granolah's mission to retrieve OG-73. It's that ship, right, Oatmeel? Correct, Granolah, but do be careful because there could be many aboard. It's almost like I'm reading this line in Jarvis's voice. Then Granolah says, "Gotcha, prepare to provide support." Roger that, Oatmeel responds. This AI is prepared and ready to be of service to Granolah, just as Jarvis was for Tony. When Tony finds a clue to create a new element, he asks Jarvis to scan the town.
1974 Stark Expo model scan complete, sir.
When Granolah is uncertain who is his target aboard Goichi's ship, he asks Oatmeel to run a scan. One by one, Oatmeel scans and identifies each of the soldiers guiding Granolah. Then finally, after searching the ship, he is rewarded with his prize. Oatmeel says, "There, in the middle, that is OG-73. What is fascinating is, when I first started doing research for this video and rewatching Iron Man and rereading the manga, I actually noticed some stunning similarities between Granolah and Tony Stark as well. When Tony was suffering with nightmares of the past and potentially losing everything, he went to his basement to tinker and build. It was always Jarvis who was there to console him and say, "I gather you're having trouble sleeping again, sir." Just as Granolah is completely plagued by his past with nightmares where Frieza sent the Saiyans to destroy his home world. Upon awakening from this awful dream, it is his AI Oatmeel that asks Granolah what is wrong. Was it that dream again? Oatmeel then comforts him by stating to worry not. His prize package OG-73 is still in stable condition. He then asks if anyone is following them, which Oatmeel scans and says, "After the destruction you brought down upon them, no." Jarvis was a caring friend to Tony, making important suggestions when he felt the need.
Sir, may I remind you that you've been awake for nearly 72 hours?
Focus up, ladies. Good evening, and welcome to the birthing suite.
Just like Oatmeel, it will be quite a while before they reach the Heeters' base. I suggest a cold sleep. Then, just like Tony, Granolah brushes off the suggestion and says he is wide awake. Being a sophisticated AI like Jarvis, Oatmeel asks personal questions to attempt to understand him and help if possible. That is why Oatmeel asks about his motives and if he still despises Frieza's army. Then when Granolah becomes enraged and learning that Frieza has been resurrected, swearing revenge, once again Oatmeel chimes in. That's all well and good, but remain calm. Why not treat yourself with your earnings first? Later in this chapter, Oatmeel even helps him out with a tough situation by providing a distraction against Soshiru, who planned to rob them of their earning. Granolah set up Oatmeel on the head of his chair to talk and lead them into the ship, where it was a carefully laid trap so he could easily snipe them from far away. Soshiru thought he required his goggles to snipe. However, Oatmeel let him know the error in his thinking. He doesn't require my support to snipe the likes of you. Cerulean's right eyes are especially adapted to sniping, and Granolah's abilities are a cut above the rest. We haven't seen him without his goggles much, or I should say his companion in the manga, but here you can clearly see his eye. Oatmeel would continue to bond and always ask questions so he could better understand and guide Granolah, which is why he is really his companion. Say, Granolah, why don't you live amongst the Sugarians? That city was set up for them by the Heeters. It's not for me. This place became their home, so we decided to move to this mountain. So Oatmeel begins to see his motives and understand that Granolah can also see his home that was destroyed, so he never forgets Frieza or his revenge. When Granolah goes to summon the dragon, it is Oatmeel who questions if it's a good idea to ignore the old man's warnings. But he has a plan. So Oatmeel goes along with it and even reminds him of the spell to actually summon the dragon. Now with the dragon summoned, he asks to become the strongest warrior in the universe. Immediately afterwards, Granolah goes to test his strength and surprises Oatmeel with this new technique. So I guess it will take him a little time for his trusty companion to get caught up to speed on everything he can do. However, when he does, they will be the perfect fighting team. One of the things that made the Iron Man suit so powerful was Jarvis' skillful analysis of the situation, so Tony didn't waste his time on futile attempts.
Sir, we will lose power before we penetrate that shell.
He was able to come up with faster countermeasures to succeed and win. Always having an extra buddy in your corner to analyze and point out tactics is a tremendous advantage. I also think Oatmeel will work in a similar fashion when Granolah fights Goku and Vegeta. Despite Granolah now being the strongest in the universe, going against Ultra Instinct Goku and Destruction Vegeta is a difficult task. If his strategy is falling short, Oatmeel will likely point out a weakness they have in their attacks or analyze a way to win he hasn't thought about. While Granolah surely isn't Tony Stark, without the suit Tony is.
Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
However, they both did have extremely lonely beginnings. Really, it was only Jarvis that was reliable and always there for him when he needed it after his parents died. Tony was lost in his own self-interest for decades until he found his true purpose. After he did though, it was Jarvis who helped keep him on his path. Then when there was a threat of Tony being without Jarvis, you could hear the fear and loneliness in Tony's voice.
Jarvis. Jarvis? Don't leave me, buddy.
All Granolah has done his entire life is survive, just him and Oatmeel. All there has been is the next mission, working for the Heeters. That has been turned upside down now with the return of Frieza, and now it's personal, and there is only one mission left, to right the wrong that Frieza did to his people. Unfortunately, to accomplish this, Granolah sacrificed his remaining life force, and he has only 3 years left to live in exchange for this power. I just hope this power and personal self-interest of revenge doesn't blind him to the life that matters around him. Will Oatmeel be able to guide him on a path preventing unnecessary violence? Will Oatmeel be able to keep Granolah on a path of the least self-destruction long enough like Jarvis did for Tony? I really hope Granolah isn't faced with losing Oatmeel anytime soon. I honestly don't know what would happen to him if that did happen. Hopefully Oatmeel helps Granolah realize that Goku and Vegeta aren't the enemy, and Goku's kind nature will help Granolah see that he can live a life that isn't fueled by revenge. Now tell me, does Granolah and Oatmeel have the same relationship that Tony and Jarvis had? What other similarities can you think of that I didn't list in this video? I always love to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to share it and smash that like button. Also, please subscribe to support the channel and turn on that notification bell to keep those theories coming.